Good morning. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. Let's settle in. Yesterday we set an intention and we looked at some goals. Today I want to read a little more from Bob Proctor's little book called The ABCs of Success. These are some essential principles that my mentor Bob Proctor talks about. And one of the One of the things is growth and change. The universe is constantly changing, constantly in motion. And if you spend some time looking around, you'll notice it feels like it's changing faster and faster, that things are growing and changing and moving faster than even a couple of years ago. But think about growth. No one ever arrives. No matter where you are in life, how much success you are enjoying, think of what it took to get you where you are. And realize that whatever it took to get you to the point that you're at will not be sufficient to keep you there. No one ever arrives. You're either improving your position or you're sliding backwards. Bob Proctor writes, "How often have we watched successful people fall from grace after reaching the pinnacle of their selected career? We need to keep pursuing, keep on doing, and looking for better and better ways to grow and expand beyond the position that we have reached." In seminars, he would say, where you are right now is the starting point for your future. So some people were at the bottom and felt like they had given up hope, and some people were at the top and they knew that there is infinite potential and they wanted to keep going. So it doesn't matter where you are in life, where you are today. You want to keep going, you want to keep growing, you want to keep expanding. And think about this. You are a very important part of the universe. You are a spiritual being. You've been gifted with an intellect that puts you way above the animals on this planet. And you have a particular human body that you're using for this lifetime. And with that body, you can do all kinds of things. Through your brain and your hands, you can create whatever you like. You're a physical entity, but you have an intellect. And when you use that intellect, you get all kinds of ideas. And then when you put that together, you can build a house, buy a vehicle, plan a trip, create a family, run a business. Whatever you want, whatever you can think of, you can do. Have you ever heard the statement that all people want to grow, but not everyone wants to make the necessary changes that are necessary in order to grow? All the challenges that you've overcome, all the struggles that you've had, have caused you to grow, to become the person that you are, to be able to handle all kinds of challenges and difficulties. You are courageous and brave and strong. You've done many things that no one else would even think to try. If today you're having a day filled with not feeling good enough, Take the time to do some writing, some journaling, to write down a victory log. Create a list of all the things that you have accomplished in your lifetime. What are you proud of? What did you overcome? You'll see that you are an amazing person. And then realize that one of the most permanent laws is one of change. Everything changes. No matter how fantastic your life is, it will change. No matter how low and miserable your life is, it will change. This too shall pass. Today is another starting point on your journey. Remember, many corporations, some that were considered institutions, have literally disappeared because of their mistaken belief that they had arrived. You know, change is not, Bob Proctor says, I'm not speaking here of change for change's sake, but rather change for the sake of growth. It matters not how much we change, provided that we are changing, improving, growing, to continue positive motion in our personal lives, in our family lives, and in our business lives. We need a track to run on. We need to ask ourselves deep, penetrating questions as a constant checkup. What kind of beliefs do you have? Maybe you're thinking some limiting beliefs that are holding you back from creating more change in your life. Maybe you've been programmed by loved ones, by family, by society to think that you've reached the top and that's all there is. Is there more that you want to accomplish in your lifetime? Where did your beliefs come from? What beliefs do you have that you would like to change? You can face and challenge your beliefs. Ask, why do I think this? Who told me that? What if I believed something different? Without continual growth and progress, words such as improvement, achievement, and success really have no meaning. You can be at the top of your game and very successful in business, in life, in your family. And then what? Wouldn't you want to spread that love around, change someone else's life? We all want more. And that is because we are all spiritual beings. We're all connected. We all want more. That's not greedy. That's the spirit in you wanting to expand the universe. And this universe is constantly changing and growing and moving. It's important to take time to enjoy what you've accomplished, but there's always that urge for more. What does that mean in your life? What else do you want? So you might have written out a victory log, a list of your accomplishments, a list of all the things that you're proud of. But Bob Proctor says life is growth. If we stop growing, technically and spiritually, we're as good as dead. George Washington Carver lived an interesting life. If you're inclined to learn from some of the giants of history, you could read this, the life of George Washington Carver. He once said, "When you can do the common things of life in an uncommon way, you will command the attention of the world." Forming the habit of doing common things in life is in an uncommon way will not only command the attention of the world, it will also guarantee you an interesting life, a life that is filled with satisfaction every day. You know, you don't want to be in a comfort zone, and you can be satisfied, but always wanting more. You and I invest a respectable part of every day involved in doing common things. And frequently, because these common things do not seem important, they often get done with very little thought. The common things, isolated or standing by themselves, are not very important. However, when you line the common things up and put them back to back, they become very important. Doing common things in an uncommon way is what separates the amateur from the pro. The author, Dr. Robert A. Russell, said that developing greatness in one's life is simple. Anyone can do it. You merely do little things in a great way every day. Robert Russell and George Washington Carver were essentially giving us the same advice. Do what they suggested today. Commit to performing every task that you tackle today in an uncommon way, regardless of how common it might be. Go the extra mile. Put your heart and soul into your work and refuse to permit any goof-offs to distract you. Tonight, when you lie down, you will reflect with pride and satisfaction on your day, and then do the same tomorrow. Make a habit of going the extra mile, doing the uncommon things, doing the common things in a great way. Because there are no menial jobs, only menial attitudes. Repetition of the same thought or physical action develops into a habit, which, repeated frequently enough, becomes an automatic reflex. Now, besides doing things in a great way, doing common things in an uncommon way, you also want to have a zest for life. Sometimes we lose sight of the value of our work, and consequently, we lose the zest for life, not just from our work, but from our lives. So Bob Proctor has written a chapter on happiness, and he says, here are a few zest restoring ideas that you can use right now and every day from now on. Understand that anything, your job, your marriage, whatever it is, regardless of how exciting in the beginning, it will grow or may or not may grow, will grow stale in time if you're not careful. Keep in mind that we fight staleness in our lives every day. There is something that you can do, something that you must do every day in order to keep vitality in your performance. It's simply the actor's technique. Live the part, act the part, act as if you're happy, that you're vitally alive. Act as if you love your life. Realize There's no such thing as a job without a future. Every job has a future, just as every person has. Whether that future is great or small will depend entirely upon the person. There are no small parts, there are only small actors. Think of yourself as if you're an actor in a play and you are the lead. You are the most important person in the movie. Everyone else is playing a supporting role. You are the star of the show. Act like it. See the big picture with you in it. See your job in relation to the whole scheme of things. Remember, the only you place limitations on yourself, regardless of what other people might say. Finally, continue to develop your ability to see yourself, your work, and what you do through the eyes of the most important person, the customer. In times of unrest and in an unstable economy, it's very easy to let your attitude slip and begin feeling sorry for yourself. This is precisely why you want to practice healthy attitudinal rules to stay alert, alive, and enthusiastic. Don't ever lose the zest for life, and life won't lose its zest for you. Say something positive to every person you meet today. That's how you can leave people with the impression of increase. Look for ways that you can give someone a sincere, merited compliment, or just uplift another person's day just by being kind, by smiling, by holding the door open, by thanking someone. Sometimes it's the most important people in our lives that we take for granted. Do something wonderful for your loved ones today, for yourself today. Nothing great in the world has ever been accomplished without passion. Don't lose your passion, your zest for life. You might even have a little saying, I love life and life loves me. And then look for ways that life loves you. Take the lid off your marvelous mind and allow yourself to dream. There's no reason why you cannot have the good you desire if you can see it, if you can see yourself with it. Your imagination is one of your most marvelous mental faculties. Use it to uplift your life and everyone around you. Bob Proctor would always talk about having a big, beautiful goal, something to look forward to, something to strive for, something that would stretch you. There are people who always play it safe. They never tackle any more than they're sure they can handle without too much effort or risk. And they don't really live life. They don't invite triumph or defeat. They never learn the greatness of their mental ability or the strength of their endurance. People who always have a big, beautiful goal that they're striving for are potential pathfinders, eagerly in search of a trail to blaze. Make sure you have a goal that is big and interesting enough to really fire up your emotions, to be passionate about, to restore that zest for life. And only you can decide what your goal is going to be. Your spouse, your parent, your employer, your associate, other people may offer suggestions, but you and only you can make the final decision. What are you going after? What is a passion project of yours? What would you love to do, to be, to have? There's no one else in the entire world who is capable of setting your goal for you. Lots of people may try. Don't permit it to happen. You will not commit yourself to other people's goals or one that you set to please others. Your goal should be something that you want, not something you need. There's no inspiration in needs. There's only inspiration in wants. And the goal doesn't have to be logical. In fact, you'll probably be much more inspired if your goal is totally illogical. And the road to your goal may be a rough one. So it's very important for you to be very emotionally involved with the idea of reaching your goal. Imagination grows by exercise. And contrary to common belief, it is more powerful in mature people than in young people. You might have put your imagination away for many years. Bring it back out, exercise it, develop it, and imagine what it would feel like to allow yourself the time, freedom to go after that goal. It doesn't matter how much it costs, it doesn't matter how big it is, and it doesn't matter how long it takes. You will grow and change and stretch and develop. And think of the things that you've already accomplished. They took work, they took strength, they took changing and developing and growing. Whatever you hold in your heart, whatever picture you desire, it will take effort, it will take stretching and growing. But remember that life is constantly changing. If you're working towards a big, beautiful goal, that will keep you inspired, having a zest for life, a passion project that you want to go after. High achievement always takes place in the framework of high expectation. You want to get out of the safety zone, the comfort zone, because a desire for safety stands against every great and noble enterprise. Nothing great was ever created without growing and stretching, risking and failing, and overcoming fears. Now take the time to imagine your beautiful goal. It might be a mountain at this time, but what does it feel like when you've reached the summit? You might be celebrating, might be relaxing, you might be feeling so proud of your accomplishment. Think about a goal that you are really passionate about. And you're going to have to change some of your beliefs. Remember that you are spirit, intellect, and physical body. You've been created perfectly, and the picture you hold in your mind is meant for you. So write down the goal that you dream about and think about all the excuses and reasons that pop into your mind about why it can't happen, and challenge some of those beliefs, those reasons, those excuses. Where did those beliefs come from? If you are a spiritual being with infinite potential and you have a big, beautiful goal that you're passionate about, of course it's meant for you. You wouldn't have that idea if it wasn't meant for you. Write about it. Write about it as if it's already done. Like you've booked the trip and you know that you're going on that trip in a couple of weeks or 6 months from now. Write about the end, the destination, how fantastic that looks and feels. Put yourself in that picture. Act as if you're already there. In your mind, hold the image, hold the feeling as if it's done. And as you're thinking from that place, ideas will just naturally flow. Write them down and take action on them as soon as you are able to. That's how the world changes. That's how passion projects become the new way of living. Write down your goal in the present tense. Focus on it already done. Create a wonderful day. Really feel it, really enjoy it. And I'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 7. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice.